Okay, here's another one of the questions from the quadratic test. This has a whole load of parts to it, but it's quite a standard quadratic question. So we're told that an object is launched at 19.6 meters per second from a tower. Okay, so we're going to draw a graph of its journey. So this is its height, and this is the time it takes. And obviously that's going to be 0. So we're given the quadratic. We're told that its height, s of t, is minus 4.9 t squared plus 19.6 t plus 58.8. So this tells us that it's going to be an inverted quadratic because we've got a negative x squared term. Now part A says, what does the 58.8 represent? So if we look at this, if t is equal to 0, then s of 0 is minus 4.9 times 0 squared plus 19.6 times 0 plus 58.8. So that means when t is 0, the height is 58.8 meters. And then the journey is an inverted parabola, so it looks something like that. Now that means that it starts at 58.8 meters, so that must be the height of the tower it's projected from. Okay, now B. What is the height reached by the ball after 3 seconds? So that means that t is equal to 3. And so again, we take our formula, but now instead of s of t, it's s of 3. So we've got minus 4.9 times 3 squared plus 19.6 times 3 plus 58.8. And once we work all that out, that means that s of 3 is 73.5 meters. Now C, how long will it take before hitting the ground? Well, where does it hit the ground? It hits the ground when the height is 0. So that means that we're looking for the roots. We're looking for where this crosses the x-axis. So that means we want minus 4.9 t squared plus 19.6 t plus 58.8 to be equal to 0. Just like we normally do when we're solving an equation. So when we do that, we find that t equals minus 2 or 6. Now the important thing is we know that time cannot be negative, so therefore the only answer is t is equal to 6. Remember, you need to show you found both roots, but you need to eliminate or explain one of them, so you're only left with the correct answer. Okay, so now we've got D. Find the times for which the object will be 60 meters above the ground. Now, imagine if we drew a line across our graph. Let's make it a bit straighter. Okay, like that. Okay, and that represents a height of 60 meters. So as you can see, there are 2 points where it's at 60 meters. So all we do is we take our quadratic, which gives us the height, and we set it equal to 60. So that means that we have minus 4.9 t squared plus 19.6 t minus 1.2 equals 0. Okay, and then when we find the roots of that quadratic, it tells us that t is 3.94 or 0.06. And those are our 2 times. Now look at the 0.06. We know that that's just after it's projected, and it's gone from 58.8 meters to 60 meters quite quickly. And then that means that the other one must be at 3.94 seconds. Okay, so that's D taken care of. Now E. E asks us to express our quadratic in a different form, and that's the completing the square form. So let's practice that. So we've got minus 4.9 t squared plus 19.6t plus 58.8. So first thing, we're going to take out a common factor, and actually 19.6 is divisible by 4.9. So we have minus 4.9 times t squared plus, plus 19.6 divided by 4.9, which is 4t. Oh, that's minus. Oh. Beep. Because I want that t term to be positive, negative 4.9 times negative 4. Okay, and then I still have my 58.8. So remember, the common term is coming out the first two, the t terms. So now I've got that. So now I want to complete the square with the part inside the brackets. So I've got t minus 2 all squared. Now I have to remember, because I put in minus 2 and I'm squaring it, I'm going to have to subtract the square of that, which is 4. Now we open the brackets, so minus 4.9 times t minus 2 squared. Because I'm opening the brackets, I have to do 4.9 times 4, which is 19.6. And then I've still got to add 58.8. Okay, and now when I put these two together, I'll have my positive term, which is 78.4 minus 4.9 t minus 2 all squared. And that is the form that I wanted. And just to be sure, I'm going to state that A, my positive term, is 78.4. B, which is my coefficient, is 4.9. And C, which is the number inside my bracket, is 2. Yeah, and then the very last thing, F says, what's the maximum height? Well, we know that the maximum height, okay, is the turning point, or the line of symmetry. We also know that you find it by completing the square. So, what's the maximum height? Well, that's the maximum y value, which is the number outside the brackets. Okay, that's our 78.4 meters. And when does it happen? Well, that happens when t is equal to 2. Because remember, our maximum point is at 2, 78.4. So that is that part taken care of.